All right, guys, let's do a quick breakdown of the build and cost of this. I guess we're going to call it a Seiko SKX, even though there's no Seiko SKX on this thing. So let's start off with what we have. I'm going to start off with the base of it here. So I'm going to tell you what the part is, and then I'm going to tell you my landed cost into the build. So, of course, starting with the most important thing is the case. This is actually a Crystaltimes CT700 case. This is the non-drilled model, or the base model, if you will. These are $79.95, so you're looking at $80 for the case. It does come with the gasket for the crystal, and it does come with a gasket for the case back. But when you order the case back, you get another gasket too. So, but anyway, and I'll put a list down in the description of all the parts, what the name of the part and the price, and maybe later I'll add links to the different places, but just that'll come later. So don't get too much of a hurry when you look down there if the link to the direct link to the company isn't there. It will be eventually. Okay, so basically $80 for the case. The chapter ring is actually, I can zoom in here, is a brushed chapter ring. You can see it in there. I really like the brushed looked one. I think it matches the hands really good on these newer turtle hand sets. So you can see that matches really good. And those are $17.95. That is also from Crystaltimes. They make some great chapter rings. And they actually even have the little notch that fits down in the keyway that's in the case. So it just kind of, this one's not indexed, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, they have some that are indexed, but it still stops it from spinning because sometimes they're a little loose in there. But there's other ways you can deal with that too. So the case back, I'm just sticking with all the Crystaltime parts, is also a Crystaltimes. And you can see there it is the what they call the zombie diver, although my wife pointed out when you look at it this way, kind of looks like a monkey with something like a crown on its head. So I'm not going to call it the zombie diver anymore. I'm going to call it the monkey case back. So once you see it, you can't unsee it. You know what I mean? There's the smiley face, there's the wicked eyes, and there's the little crown thing with like a gem up there on its crown. So it's a monkey case back. Those are $24.95. Those fit really good, and they're a little bit slimmer profile than the factory case back. Of course, when you're building it this way, you're not going to have the factory case back anyway. So, and you can get those cheaper. You can save like $5 and just get a sterile one, but why not get something fun on there, right? Okay, so that concludes the parts from Crystaltimes. Now I'm going to move on to the parts from DLW parts, DLW watches or whatever. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description eventually. But the bezel itself is a DLW. This is the deep sea bezel. There's a couple different, a lot of different mod companies have their own version of it. This one works really good. And I did not use a click spring, so it is a bi-directional, which is the only way I will do a 12-hour bezel. It needs to be bi-directional, just for quicker tracking of different time zones. So that's why I do it, or however you want to try to use the bezel. So those are, the bezel itself is only $36.50, and it did not come with a gasket. So luckily I had some extra ones laying around, so I'm not going to factor that cost in because maybe you have one laying around, but if you had to buy one, they're a few dollars as well. Again, did not come with a gasket, and you do want to put some Seiko silicone grease on that too. So again, with the DLW parts, I did the double domed clear AR coated no bevel crystal. So you can see the fitment on there is superb when you're using it with that sloped bezel insert. It just matches up really good. So, and you can see the clarity on it is just amazing. So in most cases, until you catch some really good glare, you don't even get that blue hue. So I really do like the clear AR when I'm buying my crystals now. I won't buy a blue or purple or any other color. I'll pretty much always get clear. So the crystal was only $43.50. So that's a really good deal, and it worked really good. It's nice and thick. The bezel insert, again, did not come with any adhesive. I have some extra adhesive. I didn't factor that into the build, but the bezel insert is $32.50, and this is a full metal one with the red 12. You can get it with a black 12. You don't have to get the red 12. So if you wanted a different one, there's different prices. So like say you wanted the ceramic one or something like that, it's going to be a different price, but it will really change the look of the watch too. I rather like all the metal. This was spec'd out this way, so I really like this look. Okay, so moving on to the actual Seiko parts, you're looking at the SARB 059 stem and crown that has that signed S, and if you're not familiar with the SARB 059, it is basically an SKX that was an alpinist, and it had a 6R15 movement in it, and the stem and crown will also is backways compatible with the 4R36, which is what is in this. So that stem and crown works really good. Those are, I think I paid $46 for this one, and you can still find them around there. You can use Crystaltimes sells stems and crowns as well. I just personally like the SARB 059 061 stem and crown. So those are $46. Now, this is where it gets where there's some big variances depending on how you purchase your turtle donor watch, because if you watch my live or any other videos, you are noticing that I take the guts, the complete assembly out of a Seiko turtle. Literally, I pull the case back off, I pop the stem and crown out, I take that whole assembly and I drop it right in the SKX, and then I put this stem and crown in, good to go. So I don't have to monkey around with hands and do anything else, and dial swaps or anything like that. I just take the whole darn thing. So my landed cost for this complete dial, hands, movement, containment ring, everything, the complete assembly, I have a landed cost of $100. So what happened is I bought an SRPC 91 used for $200. I took the guts out, harvested them here. I sold the turtle case and strap and all that stuff for $100. So that's how I landed at $100 for this donor. So that is going to vary plus or minus depending on how well you buy your turtle. So this is only going to be specific to this build. Okay, so basically that's the watch, right? I mean, bracelets, straps, you have tons of different options, but specifically to this one, I spec'd out the Strapcode Angus Jubilee, and these are $109 on Amazon. So again, depending on where you find it, you're going to have plus or minus. So if you add up all of those numbers, the total cost for this build, $490.35. So just under $500, you have a pretty killer build, I think. Very unique. You're not going to see another one like it until someone builds one again. But in the meantime, this thing is unique. It's one of a kind, and you have the hack, hand wind, you have the size and comfort of the SKX, and quality components. There's going to be no issue with this. There it is on my 7.25 inch wrist. And you have the killer loom. So if you didn't go with the Strapcode Angus Jubilee, if you minus that, you're only at $381.35. Okay, so, and if you wanted to add a spring, click spring in there, and you wanted to run a different bezel, that's another $12. So you're still under $400. So you probably have 22 millimeter straps laying around and you just want to use those. You don't add any of the cost. So you're still under $400 if you minus the bracelet. So, there's tons of different straps you can do. You could do a really nice leather. I like this Strap Mill Canada blue padded leather. That would look good on there. I know that's, not everyone's cup of tea. There's some really good Uncle Seiko straps you could put on there. These are relatively affordable. That would also be a really comfortable watch. I mean, even if you were to go with the standard black one, which is crazy comfortable, that thing would look really good on there, and these are pretty inexpensive. You could go with the Watch Steward one on there. The 22 mil watch stewards, I think, help balance out the larger watches really good, and that would look good on there. You probably have nados laying around, and if you don't, even a good quality NATO, you're talking $20, to $30, and they're just gonna like really change the look of it, whatever you decide. You know what I mean? So I know I'm not swapping these parts out because, quite frankly, getting this Angus Jubilee fitted on there is a bit of a challenge, and it is tight to the case. So I think this is a really good pairing. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video or the next build. I'm going to close you out with a Loom shot. Maybe a little close up there. You can see I spent a lot of extra time actually making sure there was no dust or debris in the dial. I think I have it. It's going to take a couple days to verify that, but because sometimes they sneak up on you. So I'll give you a Loom shot. And I know this video went long, but I wanted to make sure you guys had all the prices and the build and everything. So you can see killer Loom. Always killer Loom when you use factory Seiko hands and dials. See you on the next vid, guys.